Okay, just a couple minutes left here. Let's check in with Lenny Dykstra, great player on the Phillies and Mets. It's Hall of Fame weekend coming up this weekend. The players who are going in are Tim Raines, Jeff Bagwell, and Ivan Rodriguez. Great players, obviously. Lenny, you have some opinions on the Hall of Fame. We have only a couple minutes. Just want to see what's in your head right now.
Oh, well, it's good talking to you again, Adam. But the Hall of Fame, I mean, the players going in deservedly so, but that's not my point or issue about the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame has some real problems. I'm talking about the people that are held accountable for determining who goes in the Hall of Fame. And the fact that, the three best players in baseball aren't in the Hall of Fame, are not in the Hall of Fame, is very bothersome to me. And
you're talking about Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, and the other one?
Of course. And
Pete Rose.
And Pete Rose, there's issues there that maybe are understandable, but there's no way that Clemens and Bonds are not in the Hall of Fame yet. Because, they took steroids?
Right.
Okay, so what about the players that took amphetamines in the 70s?
Well, Ivan Rodriguez.
That's okay?
Ivan Rodriguez was rumored to take steroids, too. He's getting in this year. I don't know about Bagwell and Raines.
But what I'm trying to say is, what is the threshold? And, I go to Cooperstown every year. I might be going this year, I'm not sure, but if I do, I go in and I light them up because I want to know. I say, I want to know what makes a guy a bad enough guy so he can't get in the Hall of Fame. Is this about the numbers, about playing the game of baseball, or is this about, being a great guy? Now, by the way, no problem with being a great guy. In fact, maybe they should have a great guy Hall of Fame. But this isn't about being a great guy, because if you look back in time, you had some of the meanest, dirtiest, alcoholics, everything.
Not everyone can be your old teammate.
They have no answer. What's
Gary
the
Carter?
Though?
Not everyone can be Gary Carter, basically.
Yeah, but what's the threshold, though? What I'm trying to say is, what makes someone bad enough? Meaning, amphetamines are okay? Well, amphetamines were more important to me than the other stuff, because amphetamines help me get energy.
Right.
And that's why every player took them. But so that's okay. And it's okay to beat your wife or to have extramarital affairs. So what's the threshold? I want to know.
They won't answer you.
How many steroids do you have to take? How many, if you take Barry Bonds' first 10 years when he was at Pittsburgh, when he didn't take, a steroid, okay, his stats are fifth best overall.
Yep.
Okay. Now, where I have a problem.
Wait, Lenny, let me remind people of something. The only reason you were not the MVP of the National League in 1993 was because you lost too?
Well, I lost to Barry Bonds, but that was, I shouldn't have lost to Bonds because the MVP should be the most valuable player, and Barry Bonds wasn't that valuable, helping his team finish fifth or sixth. He had a lot of home runs.
No, actually they won 103 games.
Whatever, though. I mean, they didn't win. They didn't go to the big dance,
Right.
And I don't know how many games they won that year.
They won a lot. They lost by one game to Atlanta, and then you guys beat Atlanta in the playoffs.
Yeah. So they finished second. So how can he be that? That's your most valuable player in the league, helping the team finish second. Second, people don't get paid for finishing second. Mm-hmm. But let's get back on point, though. So when I asked them this, they wouldn't answer me, so I kind of yelled at them. I said, I want to know what the, threshold is that makes a guy a bad enough guy so he can't be in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
I mean, really? I mean, so it's okay, we'll waive off amphetamines. No problem. What about pain pills? I mean, I can go on and on and on. It's either you can't get a little bit pregnant, meaning you either took PEDs, performance-enhancing drugs, which is all of the ones I've talked about, or you didn't. So if you took some, then they obviously helped your performance. So they don't even know themselves.
No.
Meaning,
do they always blow you off?
In the Hall of Fame.
Did they always blow you off when you try to ask it?
Well, no, they had the like security would always have to come get me out.
And I remind people who may not know the story, you're the guy who basically ended the strike in '94. So you've always
not
been...
basically. I did end the strike in '94. Not basically, and you want to know the proof?
Yeah.
Well, ask anyone who was at the meeting. But the real proof is in 1995 and 1996, I was voted on the All-Star team by the fans, and I didn't even play.
Yeah. Well, you've always been a
hurt.
fan favorite. There's no question about that.
No, but that's a direct result of me ending that strike. Okay, I went out and I went public, and my voice was loud and clear because I just came off '93, and so I called the union up and told them I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid like these other guys. You work for me. Put a meeting together. This is got to end. And it ended 2 weeks later. But that's how I roll, man. That's what I do.
One final thought on the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
You did get a vote for the Hall of Fame. I remind people of that. Schilling, you're close with him, your former teammate. He's sort of near the top of people who are getting votes. Just if you want to make a case, I know you've said about him, he's the most prepared pitcher you ever played with. And just the word about him.
He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, without a doubt.
Okay.
He didn't take drugs. His numbers stand for themselves. I mean, not only that, you have to take into consideration the fact that, what he did with Boston and brought a World Series there. And overall, I mean, if he's not a Hall of Fame pitcher, what is a Hall of Fame pitcher?
How important is it, and this is something obviously you have a bias toward because you're one of the best postseason players of all time, is how important is what he did in the postseason for 3 different teams?
It's got to be important. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I mean, but you got these bozos from around the country. I don't know, there's probably 400 of them that are grandfathered in that probably still don't even know how the game works. I mean, the whole Hall of Fame committee's got to be reorganized, and it's called in this game called life, they have new technology and things happen faster. Well, they have to bring some new, blood to the Hall of Fame committee. And the fossil factory needs to, get ready for a box, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But they're still voting. So, anyways, that whole Hall of Fame thing is, like I said, is very disturbing to me. By the way, I'm not saying that I encourage people taking drugs or
No.
PEDs. But the people took them. The people took them that are in the Hall of Fame, and they know it.
Mm-hmm.
So if they know they took PEDs, then what's the threshold on what is it? If you took how many? Or or what kind? Where I'm going here is it's a road they don't want to go down, and then it's questions they don't have answers for, because there is no answer that makes sense.
Here's a question.
You either took PEDs or you didn't.
And a question I have is, are the people being punished the guys who would have been probably Hall of Famers anyway, who became even greater players, and I'm talking about Clemens and Bonds, versus guys who may not have made the Hall of Fame, but because of PEDs, and I'm talking about Ivan Rodriguez right there, and maybe Piazza, but crossed the limit, crossed the threshold into the Hall of Fame because of those drug use. I mean, I don't have the specific facts, but Bonds and Clemens were great players anyway.
Clemens, he didn't take anything. He didn't trust me. He didn't need anything. I hit off the guy. I hated hitting off. He was filthy. I mean, what I'm saying though is the thrust of where I'm going with. I know you have to end this, but the thrust of the story is, or what our conversation is about, is what is the threshold? What is the determining factor that makes a player not what is keeping a great player from not being in the Hall of Fame, like Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens?
Well,
so PEDs, you're saying. Okay, so what's the threshold? And because we know half, at least more of the players that are in the Hall of Fame took something to enhance their performance. Yep. And that was greenies. They call them greenies, amphetamines.
Yeah, I read all about it.
We know that.
We know that.
We know that. So it's okay. Look past that. So we look past that. It's like, wait. So you tried to kill someone, but you didn't kill him, and so because you didn't kill him, you're not going to jail. So, but if you would have killed him, you would go to jail. Meaning, like, you can't get a little bit pregnant. Like, you either took him or you didn't. So they need to like get that straight and get some clarity there, because it's disturbing to a guy that played baseball for a living at the highest level and played against these guys, and knowing that these are Hall of Fame players. I mean, one is the best player of all time.
Yep.
That's Barry Bonds. Okay, maybe the biggest dick of all time too. Okay, but that doesn't matter. This isn't a, like.
Not to be confused with Darryl Strawberry that way. Just so people know, that's a different matter.
Well, he's not even close. And then Clemens is just filthy. I mean, Clemens, look at this guy's number.
Lenny, I got to let you go. I got to let you go, but
Pete
real
Rose,
quick.
Close on this. Pete Rose, he's got it's going to be tough. See, because they blame Bart Giamatti's death on Pete.
I'm out of time.
Anyways,
Lenny.
good talking.
Wait. One last thing. First of all, people can follow you at Lenny Dykstra on Twitter, and the other thing is
Facebook too.
And Facebook too, where you do your summaries of the Mets. You really went off on what's his name, Cespedes the other day. People just need to watch you on Facebook. Does it taint the whole Hall of Fame experience of the fact that they have this double standard? Does it just take something away from what should be a great?
Of course, it takes it away. Of course. Well, if you think, I mean, if you're not like, but remember, we're talking about 80% of the people, like, they don't even consider what I'm saying, like maybe because they're the guys that get up every day and go to their miserable job and take orders and go back home to their miserable wife, eat her shitty food, don't have sex, get up in the morning and do it again, and that's their life.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Manny, thanks for coming on today.
But in closing, that's not my life.
No, we know that. And people can read about it in House of Nails bestseller last year. Manny, always great having you on.
See you, buddy.